first generation of this model was, well, a slightly less braver copy of the X6. Last year, BMW started to sell the second generation. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to BMW X4. With the second generation, well, what can I say? Things became definitely much more mature, but most of all, a lot prettier. Perhaps it's not so pretty today because it's filthy. My apologies. This is just the reality of the Swiss winter. I'll wash it in the springtime. Let's hop in and see what the X4 is all about. BMW with their X6 that started the entire SUV coupe trend, and as soon as they have, all the other copycats have followed. Mercedes-Benz, Audi, but all that was 11 years ago. Now times are changing, people are changing. Let's have a little chat and a short drive and see if this car is more of an SUV or more of a coupe. Show you the boot space of the X4. Electrically operated tailgate, of course. Despite swooping roofline, there's actually plenty of space. I'm carrying a medium-sized suitcase. You can fit in a lot, so go right ahead. Bring all your clutter on board. The model I have with me today is 30i, and against the odds, this is actually a 2-litre petrol engine that produces 252 horsepower. We've got 350 Nm of torque, so it's all sounding and looking pretty promising, especially that 0 to 100 is only 6.3 seconds sprint. So, you know, our hopes are up, and we are going up, quite a bit up actually. It's fairly cold, below 0. Let's see how this car performs. So as soon as you get in behind the wheel, you can't quite feel those, you know, rather sporty figures, sporty numbers. But as soon as you put your foot down, first put it to sport, well, you know that the X4 is more than capable. How does it feel to be a passenger in the X4? Well, there's plenty of legroom. The space here is very lush and comfortable. The headroom, well, it's okay. If you're a midget like myself, 1.7, 5.6, you'll be just fine. The 30i engine is actually the best seller in X4, and rightfully so. Although, yes, the 6-cylinder M40i sounds better, feels better, and puts a bigger smile on your face. For majority of people, do we really need it? Well, probably not. The 30i has got enough punch, enough vigor, you know, to make you happy in your daily life. That, of course, combined with sharp BMW style steering and handling, well, quite an optimum choice. You know, it's the 30i, of course, is cheaper to get, cheaper to run. Now, speaking of running costs, so I'm climbing a fairly high mountain. All I'm using is 8.6 liters. I've actually taken this car on a long distance journey, and that's all it uses. Even if you climb a mountain that is 2,000 meters high and it's -10, -15 outside, it's still such a good, reasonable figure. And that, of course, brings me to practicality. The visibility in this car is actually very good. Yes, the rear window is fairly small, but you actually see everything that you need to see. So you're sitting high up, looking down at everybody, feeling very superior, and you should be. You're driving X4. It's quite a nice car. Let's begin the battle, shall we? So this car has aspirations to be a coupe, and for that matter, I'd say I'd like to feel and see a little bit more emotion, a little bit more spark. But of course, you know, this is the cost, because actually this car is an amazing long distance cruiser. The other day I was coming home after a long journey. It was dark, cold and miserable, and I was tired, and honestly, the X4 was the perfect car for this moment. You know, it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's very fluffy, you can't feel anything because it absorbs most of the bumps and imperfections on the road, and it's got all the safety systems, all the gimmicks to essentially drive itself. So it was just the perfect car to have. So the X4 is a lush and soft, beautiful long distance cruiser, that's all good. But look at me today, I've taken it on a mountain pass. It's cold, it's slippery and icy, the roads are very narrow and twisty, yet the X4 actually performs ever so well. Of course, the X-Drive 4-wheel drive system helps tremendously today, but overall it's just, you see, it performs beautifully in a lot of different environments, including very difficult one like this one today. Now, what's my overall take on the whole SUV coupe hype? Well, when they initially launched with the X6, a lot of people said wow, and some said, oh yuck, what is this? I personally quite like the SUV coupe. I've warmed up to it. At the beginning I was not a fan of it, but then I actually started driving cars, SUV coupes, and I actually quite enjoy it. I like the look of this car. But you know, a purchase of this kind of a car no longer makes you unique, it doesn't make you stand out. So who would purchase an X4? Well, somebody certainly that's got spare 66,000 Swiss francs, which is more or less an equivalent to the US dollar. Now, interestingly enough, the X5 is 2,500 cheaper. So which one would you choose, X5 versus X4? Well, they drive very similarly actually. So it really comes down to personal taste and your style. The X5, of course, is more traditional. This is by no means a comparison, but it's an interesting, it's an interesting look. X5, X4. Which one would I choose? Actually, I'm not sure. I quite like the X4. It's still slightly a different look. It's no longer unique, but a little bit different, which is something I do appreciate. Overall, it's a beautiful car to drive. You know, it's got sharp steering, soft suspension, so a perfect long distance cruiser. But when you want to put your foot down, put it to sport, I mean, you can. You know, the throttle response is nice, which is something I definitely appreciate the most. And I think this brings me to the end of this video. I'm going to continue my journey in this beautiful winter weather. I'm not a fan of winter, but today I actually quite like it. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. As always, I look forward to your comments and your questions. A big thank you to BMW Switzerland, Fabio and Sandro for lending me this car. As always, I look forward to your comments and questions, and I shall see you all very, very soon. Bye!